Yeah, I have a question.
Hmm.
So earlier on the slide, you showed some pictures of some tanks with awesome looking graphics, and most of the time the operators really love to have it look that way.
Uh-huh.
And then later you showed one with situational awareness. Uh, which way do you see the industry really going? Is it kind of split, or are they going to situational awareness? Because if that's the case, those awesome graphics, unfortunately, aren't a part of that.
Great question. It really comes down to preference of I think both the folks that are going to be using the system, right? And then also obviously then the folks that are kind of designing or managing the system. And from my experience, I find it's really beneficial to get operator feedback, the folks that actually be using the system of kind of what their preference is to get their feedback, and because they're going to be the ones using the system at the end of the day. But then also, just because folks have are used to seeing things a certain way, because they've been using an existing system, right? That maybe it's a lot more colorful, a lot more animated, and isn't necessarily using the HMI high performance kind of philosophy. Um, you can do a combination of both, and that's what I see uh, happening a lot, is that you've got screens that kind of incorporate a little bit of both, and even the screen that I shared. I'll just go back to it. Oops, this right here. Um, in there is the book, the HMI High Performance Handbook, and if you kind of subscribe to all of the philosophies in that particular guide, they would even eliminate the use of the color green here for things running, and replace that with gray and white for running and not running, as an example. And so I think this is a great example of still using some color to show when like things are running, because that's something that folks want to still have alerted to them, and have it more apparent. So I think this is a good example of kind of blending both styles. And but if folks want the animations and the colorful graphics, there's no reason why they can't have both. You can't do both. And whether that means you've got a combination of the two different styles on the same screen, or you've got separate screens. um, you know my personal opinion, if it counts for anything, is the folks that are actually going to be using the system. They have they're usually quite intimate and familiar with the process, the plant, the operations, and so getting their feedback, I think is pretty critical to getting the adoption of the use of the system, and making sure they're happy with it. And that might mean that there's some compromise versus going all one way or the other.